In today's video, we're making homemade brown gravy. It's simple and easy. I'm going to show y'all how to do it. Okay, y'all. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make homemade brown gravy. If you like brown gravy on baked potatoes, you need to watch this video because you don't have to buy it in a jar. You can make brown gravy yourself to put over baked potatoes or a steak. We're just going to start off by adding around a tablespoon and a half of olive oil. Okay, we're letting our oil heat up and it's getting to be like a medium heat. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of all-purpose flour. And that's about a half. And now we're just going to cook that down and see if we look like we might need a little bit more flour. And I can tell already by looking at the amount of oil mixed in my flour, I'm going to add about another half a teaspoon. So altogether we done two tablespoons of flour to our 2 tablespoons of oil. I really didn't measure it, but that's just what I'm going to guess it by to be. And now we're just going to let that cook down and get that flour taste out of it. But if you're like us and you like brown gravy on a baked potato or even a steak, I guess you could say that's back from the old school. Used to, when there used to be like Golden Corrals and Rhines, they always had brown gravy on their bar, or you could even order it with your dinner. You could always get a side of brown gravy with peppers and onions. So we're going to let this get a little bit of color to it. And you just let it cook. You can't rush it. You don't want to burn it or scorch your flour. So just keep a close eye on it. Now that brown gravy is easy to buy in a jar, but it gets expensive. One jar now is like $3 and something for that little jar of brown gravy. Okay, you can see it's starting to get some color. And now to that, we're going to add some bouillon powder. You can use a cube or you can use 1 teaspoon of the powder like we've got. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm putting 1 teaspoon of my bouillon powder. And if the only thing you have is those little cubes, just crush one up or even just put it in there, and as it gets hot, it'll dissolve. Because I have had those. Just right now, we've got the powder. Give that a mix. And now we're going to add a little bit of garlic powder. And that one ain't got none in it. And some black pepper. About a half a teaspoon for this amount that we're making. And just a little bit of salt. You got to taste it once you get it done, because you don't want to get it too salty to start with. Okay, you see how it's turning that brown? Turn that heat down just a little. Okay, and now we're going to add around a half a can. We're going to start off with a half a can of this beef broth. And we may wind up using it all, because when I do make this brown gravy, I'll make it in a bigger batch. And that way I can put it up and have it for the week. Because it can go with different kind of dishes. Tonight it's for a baked potato. But if you had cream potatoes, this kind of gravy would be good on it. If you had rice that week, you could use this brown gravy for it. So you could keep this in the refrigerator for up to 7 days. Okay, it's starting to thicken up. So I'm going to let it get, I'll turn that heat up just a little bit. And I'm going to see how thick it gets. I may wind up adding the rest of that can. And just have this batch of brown gravy for the week. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this can. Just going to keep cooking it, and as you cook it, your brown gravy will thicken up. From where you put that flour in there, it'll thicken your sauce right up. Okay, we about got it right where we want it. Y'all see how it looks? And even as it cools, it's going to thicken up even more. But right there is about as thick as I want it, because I want to be able to drizzle it over my baked potato. And it'll thicken up as it cools too. So we're going to cut that heat off. And we've got us some homemade brown gravy. Right there is about how we want it. So I'm going to cut the heat off. And that's where we're going to leave it. And let it sit here and cool. And as it cools, it'll even get a little thicker. But y'all look how pretty. So if y'all are wanting to know how to make brown gravy yourself without buying it in those jars or a can, it's simple and easy. You can either use homemade beef broth or just a store-bought can of beef broth and make it yourself. Okay, y'all, I hope you like our little short video on how to make brown gravy. If you like our video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe if you hadn't already. Thanks for watching.